Hello, good morning. How are you today? My name is Praise for Warware. Welcome to PFthinks from Praise for War International Studio, Lagos, Nigeria. I'm so excited to have come your way again today. How are you doing and how is everything with you? Thank you all for everyone who always join me every day. Today is episode 61 of PF Things, and I'm so excited that you guys are here again, right? I know it's never easy having to join me every now and then. I never take it for granted what you guys go through to join my show, and that's why I'm forever indebted to you guys, because without you, there is no show. So thank you once again for joining me. Okay, so today, what am I talking about? I have decided to take on a very controversial topic, right? And this one I've titled Audacity to Trend. Audacity to Trend. Now, why am I doing this? Within the last few months or three weeks, there about 4 weeks, two major events or two major people have trended in Nigeria. Number one guy is the guy called Ndaboski. You know Ndaboski. I can't remember his name right now, but everyone in Nigeria surely knows Ndaboski. Ndaboski is supposed to be a pastor, who is has created a funny style wherein he does WrestleMania when he's doing deliverance. He gets into all kinds of things. He does showbiz, and he has a lot of followership. He's always trending on Nigerian media. And within the last 48 hours, there was another case that began to trend, which is the case called the special package. Now, for those of you who don't live in Nigeria or you don't live in Africa, special package was a lady who came out to talk about some kind of voodoo that can make a man fall in love with a woman. Okay, and that thing trended so well that people pushed it across different boundaries and across everywhere, and people have been talking about it. People have raised prayer point about it, but the lady has released, a price list, and she's come out to do a follow-up, and everyone is talking about it. Yesterday alone, I received about 11 of her videos, right? Even though I did not send any out, I received 11 of her videos, and that is very, very instructive, because consistently I have seen that the people who make others trend are people who want to warn others, but they don't know that they have all fallen into a script that was premeditated. Now, a lot of people have talked about special package, but when the special package began to trend, I decided to step aside and pick the lessons from what the lady was doing. And I picked a number of lessons, about two of them specifically, and I applied the lessons I picked from her almost immediately, and I closed two deals almost immediately. Now, this morning, I am sharing with you Audacity to Trend. Now, a trend is the ability to become the subject of many posts on a social media website or application within a short period of time. That's Wikipedia's definition. The ability to become the subject of many posts on a social media website or application within a short period of time. Now, a lot of people do not know that when it comes to the sales of products and the power of the media, right and wrong is often suspended. What can deliver the product or the result that we want to seek is what is applied. So an average person feel that the goal of media is to speak the truth. If that is your thinking, you are very naive, because the goal of media is not to speak the truth. The goal of media is to drive a narrative that can deliver a result, which is why when the name Osama bin Laden is mentioned, you get afraid, you get upset. You have never met him, you have never had an interaction with him. Everything you knew about bin Laden was what the media told you, but you believed it, right? Because they drove the narrative consistently to a level where you accepted it. If you check around the globe right now, you will see the way President Donald Trump drives his narrative is so powerful. His propaganda machine is so powerful that even the people taught us about God, taught us about Jesus, taught us about what it means to be a Christian, came around to say that Donald Trump is a born-again Christian, that is a servant of God, even though every of his behavior contradicted everything they've taught us about who a Christian should be. Now, but the power of media has driven it consistently that the narrative now is Donald Trump is God sent, is doing the Lord's work. I have seen so many Christian brothers drive this narrative as well, right? And I laugh, right? To say, hey, what's going on here, right? And the same people drive the narrative that Obama was the Antichrist. They've driven the narrative, Bill Gates and the Antichrist. The Antichrist keeps changing. Now, that is the power of media. Media can turn a righteous person into a devil if the machinery is well oiled. Now, the goal of this session is to learn how to make media work for you. Because when it comes to trend and your ability to push your product into the market, right and wrong is often suspended. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying go and do evil. I am saying from a strategic point of view, whatever can deliver the result is what you need to adhere to. So in the triangle of strategy, we call it the triangle of life. On the left side is your beliefs. On the right side is the result you want to say. On the other point, top point, annex of it is zenith of it is actually the behavior you need to put yourself through to deliver the result. So your result is what must dictate the behavior. The behavior must be dictated by the beliefs. Now, so if you say, this is the result I want about my product, what do we want people to believe about this product, right? That's the question they ask in strategy. Then how must we begin to behave to make people believe what we want them to believe about this product, right? So if you strip yourself of your ability to think, so many things you have come to accept was because your frontal cortex was not working. So they bypass your conscious resistance to drive the narrative, and you believed it. That if you activate your thinking, there are so many things you believe as truth that you will never accept as truth. But for you to accept them as truth, they have bypassed your ability to activate your critical thinking and question things, and you have come to accept it. Now, a lot of people do not know that before any product comes out, especially any trend at all, there is a strategic intervention. There's a strategic meeting where they say, what result do we want? So we want to sell this product. We know that our society, let us dimension the society. We cannot pretend that our society is a righteous society. The society is dimensioned. For example, Nigeria is a gossipy society, right? Everybody gossips. Both the righteous and the unrighteous, the right and the wrong, they love to gossip. So if you want to ride on that wave, can you create something unique that will align with the 6 stages of deception that can get them talking? Now, when you understand the triangle of strategy, what to do to trend anything becomes very easy, right? Because it will now be a subject of the behavior you need to put up. Because think about it. If it is by preaching, there is no way Ndabuski can trend. If it's by teaching of the truth, if it's by ability to perform miracle, there is no way Ndabuski can trend, right? But in the Boski, maybe the result is he wanted to become a brand ambassador. He wanted to become indispensable to the Nigerian space or the African space. He wanted to become a talking point. The same thing Bobrisky, right? If it's by spoken English, there is no way they can trend. So they had to put up a behavior that, in quote, contradicts the acceptable standard of their sector. So Bobrisky started cross-dressing, and Ndabuski started behaving in a way within the religious space that contradicts our known expression of a man of God. Now, Special Package also came out to speak about how to use voodoo to charm a man, something our society naturally will not accept, and she leveraged on that to become a talking point. Now, so how do you learn from what these 3 guys have done? What are the lessons to pick from these 3 experiences? Like I said, today's session is not about right and wrong. Today's session is carefully observing how trends are created and making it work for you. Number 1 is you need to have a clear product that can solve a problem, and you need to be sure your product is potent. So if you check special package, she knew that a lot of people cheat in their marriages. She understood that there's a market already for it. Now, she also knows that the average lady has suffered in the hand of their side men or side boo and blah, blah, blah. And that an average lady within that space is looking for how to tie down their benefactor, right, down permanently, right? So whether that product can work or not, I don't even think that product can deliver what she's talking about. But that's not the issue, right? In fact, I have a reason to believe that what she's selling is not actually the product she's advertising. There is something else she's selling. Most likely her face. Most likely she's selling our brand. Most likely she's selling herself. There's something she's selling that is beyond the product she's selling, because I do not think what she's saying that the product can do what it can do. But let's leave that for another day, right? So you need to have a clear product that can solve a problem and be sure it's potent. So she created a product, a box of special package that she says this special package can get any lady, can get any guy up to a lady, right? Once you use it, right? Now, so she put that product together. There's a clear product in there. So the question is, do you have a clear product? Is your product clear? And when your product is clear, what problem can your product solve? And be sure it's potent. You know, the tragedy of our world and the crisis of good people is that good people think the world wants good things. We think the world wants good solutions. So, for example, for someone like me, I would think that the world wants sexual purity, but it's not totally correct, right? The world is not oftentimes looking for sexual purity. The population of the people looking for sexual purity, they are not as much as people not looking for sexual purity, right? So if we are not careful, we will just keep speaking above the bar, not getting into the penetrated area. But there's a way that you can sell the same message and it will penetrate and permeate even the people who don't want sexual purity, because you now need to leverage on their feelings. You need to understand their buying decision, which means even if the guy is a cheat, every cheat doesn't want their children to get into adultery. So if you activate the power of their children to say, we don't want your children to go bad, right? Then you will realize that many of them will patronize you, even though they don't believe in it for themselves. So you need to have a clear product that can solve a problem and be sure it's potent. Number two, you need to begin with the end in mind. What result do you want? The way I see many people sell their products on social media, especially good people, I have concluded that they just want to pass an information. They do not want to penetrate the market. They do not want to collect the money. What they want to do is, for your information's sake, I am selling, Praise Forward is selling a course. For your information's sake, whether you buy it, you don't buy it, it's your business. The course can solve your life, can solve the problem, whether you buy it or you don't buy it. There is no compelling reason to buy that course. So to buy that product, so we do not begin with the end in mind. Now, a typical company that is doing strategic penetration begins with the end in mind. And when we talk about beginning with the end in mind, one is picture, number two is numbers. You need to be clear about how many customers you want. You need to be clear about how many products you want to sell. You need to have a picture of that end. So you need to begin with the end in mind. What exactly do you want? You have a product and you're listening to me. Is your product for information's sake, or you want to penetrate the market? You want to be number one in the market. You want to be the go-to person in the market. Number three, who are your customers? You need to separate your customers from your consumer. A lot of people, we go to the consumer, but instead of targeting the customer is the person who governs the buying decision. The consumer is the user of the product. Oftentimes, the customer can be the consumer, but in many cases, the customer is not often the consumer. So, for example, you have baby food. The consumer of baby food is the child, right? But the customer is the parent, because the parent is the one that can actually govern the buying decision. But you need to activate the consumer to make the customer pay, right? By creating adverts that make the consumer, right, demand that product from the customer, right? So who are your customers and versus who are your consumers? You need to clearly articulate it. Number four, where do you truly want to position? Where do you truly want to position? Yesterday, after my broadcast, I was watching an interview by Anthony Robbins. And Anthony Robbins mentioned the name of a guy in that particular interview, right? I mean, he's a guy I felt I'd never heard of him before. And he said that guy is the number one hedge fund manager in the world. He's the number one investment person in the world. That the guy, for him to do business with you, you need to be worth 5 billion US dollars. And if you don't have $100 million to invest, he will not do business with you. I was feeling sleepy. But as I listened to that, my eyes lit. Then he went further to say, this guy is coaching China on what to do with their money. A human being coaching China, a country of over 1 billion people, on what to do with their money. And this guy will never have anything to do with you if you are not worth 5 billion US dollars, and he will never invest for you if you don't have $100 million. Can you see the numbers? I was going crazy. And I told myself, this is a human being. He doesn't have 2 heads. He doesn't have 3 heads. How did he get to this level? Now, for what is what, this guy positioned himself. He was clear where he wanted to position. And let me say this to you. You are the one playing at the level you want to play. Wherever you are playing today is a choice. You can make your product premium. You can make your product for middle class. You can make it for low class, right? But you can also earn from all of them. If you check that special package video, that lady created a product, created different prices range, and she had a beautifully packaged document that states what to get for every price range. Many of us are selling stuff. We are not structured. At a glance, I could almost make a buying decision on a special package depending on my pocket. Now, where do you want to position? You need to answer that question. The next thing, which is number 5, you need to create a speedy conversion system. You need to create a speedy conversion system, right? Which is basically, how do they figure out your pricing within the shortest possible time? This lady released the special package product, right? But almost immediately at the same time that video was trending, because it became a talking point, because it sounded antisocial. The goal is not for her to talk about right and wrong. The goal for her is to be in your face, and you were the one who spread the message, right? So she created a document that stated a price. Now, I talked about it yesterday, that when you structure, prosperity naturally comes. Structure is a prerequisite, or orderliness is a prerequisite for prosperity. Now, so you need to create a speedy conversion system that when people are looking at your product, they can almost make a buying decision, which is why I see some products on social media. The person is marketing a trading, is marketing a product, then they put there, if you are interested, contact us. Excuse me, I don't need to contact you to know the price. If I cannot see your price, why am I contacting you, right? And that's where a lot of people lose out, because you can't put your price out there. You now say they should contact you. How many will contact you? People want to take a decision on the go. So you need to create a speedy conversion system. Your website needs to be top notch. It needs to be user friendly. Not that people are struggling with it. Your interface must be top notch. People must know the pricing. They must be able to take a decision almost immediately. Number 6, create your advertisement strategy. Create your advertisement strategy. Again, you come back to the strategy triangle, and you say, what result do we want? What beliefs must we make? What do we want to make people to believe? And what behavior must we put up? Now, the biggest gain at the cheapest price is the question advertisers are asking right now. What is the biggest gain at the cheapest price? Now, the lady who did special package, she created a controversy. She activated what we call the 6 steps of social deception, the 6 stages of social deception, and created a talking point. Christians will talk about it, Muslims will talk about it, Hindus will talk about it, gossip will talk about it, atheists will talk about it. She created that, and she knew that once she created an antisocial video, even though our society is hypocritical, somebody will spread it to somebody will send it to somebody. Pastors will be afraid, Christians will be afraid, it will become a prayer point. Wives will begin to pray, right? So even God is aware of special package product. God Almighty is begotten to heaven as a prayer point. So if God doesn't know that lady, she knew that lady through you. Now, the 6 phases of social deception, stage 1 is shocker. that you release something. Every movement has passed through these 6 stages. Christianity passed through it, Islam passed through it, LGBT passed through it, right? Naira Marley passed through it. This lady is passing through it. I will tell you exactly where she is right now. The shocker is you release something that shocks the entire space, right? So for example, if I appear on this show with dreadlocks, I will shock you guys, right? Number 2 is the outrage. The moment that video hits the airwaves, people were shocked to say, these are things that people hide to do. How come this lady is audacious and she's coming publicly to come and sell juju, right? So there was a total outrage. People began to shout, we no go gree, yo, we no go gree. What kind of lady is this? You know, and people began to pray. The prayer point was raised. Wives began to pray for their husband and blah, blah, blah. Now, the stage we are right now is discussion. Everyone is discussing it. 11 of our videos came to my WhatsApp yesterday, 11, and I don't know this lady. So for the first time, I knew her through the people sending her videos around, right? And people are the ones advertising and marketing her using their data unconsciously, right? So you need to learn how these things work and use it for yourself. So you need to create an advertisement that delivers the biggest gain at the cheapest price. How can you create your narrative in a way that the people are the ones advertising you? The next step is to moderate the discussion to generate more trend. So the moment there was an outrage, she wrote on that outrage to release another video to say, you know, this product is not for everybody. This product is for this particular group of people. Now, once you moderate the discussion to generate more trend, then convert your customers and repeat the process. I'll tell you, if she has analytics or she released analytics, I can bet that more than 1 million people have visited our website. I can bet that more than 1 million people have checked our Instagram handle. I can tell that she must have gained over 100% followership, and I can tell you that she must have converted about 20%, because I know a lot of people would have gone secretly. They will shout publicly, we don't go agree, we don't go agree. This lady is using juju, but secretly they are reaching out to her, because if they are not reaching out to her, she will not come out the way she's coming out. And like I said, I don't believe that that's the only product she's selling. I believe there is more to what that video represents. There are other things she's selling that I cannot discuss, but that is very clear to me. But I am not even bothered about what she's selling and what she's not selling. I am bothered about how she's selling, because there are lessons from everything that is staring us in the face. Who is blind but my servant? Every time I see any information, I'm asking, what lesson can I pick from this information? So I am sticking to the lesson to pick from special package. I am not bothered about whether it's right or wrong, because to sit at the level of right and wrong will not help us pick the lessons we need to pick. So like I said, number 1, have a clear product that can solve a problem and be sure it's potent. Number 2, begin with the end in mind. What exactly do you want? How much do you want? How many people do you want? Number 3, who are your customers? Separate them from your consumers. Number 4, where do you truly want to position your product? Number 5, create a speedy conversion system and structure. How do they figure out your pricing within the shortest possible time? Number 6, create your advertisement strategy, the biggest gain at the cheapest price, right? All she needed to do was shoot the video. The advert was made happen by all of you, right? Number 7, moderate the discussion to generate more trend and convert your customers and repeat the process. Now, the most important factor is, however, boldness. The most important factor in trends and conversion is boldness, or in marketing is boldness, right? A bold evil will overpower a timid light. Never forget that. A bold evil will overpower a timid light, right? That if the people who claim they have what is right are not bold about their right, and ignorant people are bold about their wrong, they will trend. They'll become the new light that others will see. Gentiles will run to thy light. The person you must shine for them to run to you. If you hide yourself under the bushel and you don't, so I see a lot of good people, they shy away from money. They don't talk about money. When they talk, they pretend as if they have it all. Meanwhile, they are broke, right? They don't have money, but they don't talk about money. So they have a secret relationship with money. But bad people come out to say, come and sell my product. There's a guy selling something that looks like smoke. I see him on social media regularly. And I'm always laughing every time I see him, because the guy is selling a product that is difficult, but he's selling it well, right? So you need to understand that a bold evil will overpower a timid light. A bold evil will overpower a timid light. Never forget, a bold evil will overpower a timid light. Question is, are you a bold light or are you a timid light? That every time you have a product you are not selling, you are not learning from people who are selling in the name of they are bad, you are right. Your right has not delivered the numbers you want. They are wrong is delivering the numbers they want. So why don't you observe, right? He says the children of this world are wiser in their generation. He said, go to the ant, you sluggard, and go and learn. If God can say we should go and learn from ants, how much more what is visible before you? So don't just join them to talk about trends. Don't join them to talk about things. Pick the lessons. Activate your ability to observe and begin to pick the lesson. Let me say this to you. Be bold, be brilliant, be you, be audacious. You have the audacity to trend and you can make it happen. If you follow everything I've shared this morning, follow the strategic triangle, make it work for you, create your own products, you will thank me later. And by the way, if you're listening to me, you have not taken any course on my website, you need to go there. There are information there that will change your life totally. All kinds of courses, step-by-step process, school.iampraisforward.com. You want to become certified and become the best and the most effective family life professional, you need to take Family STEM Engineering Certification Program, right? You need to go there right now and take that course. Well, let me tidy this up by saying to you once again, a bold evil will overpower a timid lie. Special package, I have said thank you to you because I picked 2 critical lessons from that video and I applied it and it worked almost immediately. Whenever you see what people are talking about, don't stay at the level of right and wrong. You will miss the lessons totally. Step aside, observe what is making it work. What can you learn from it and how can you apply it? About 7 critical lessons I learned from that video and I applied it and I closed 2 deals almost immediately, right? Observe. Who is blind but my servant? The capacity to observe has been taken away from many of us. In our arrogance, we don't deliver the numbers. And when we see what is working, we are not even willing to learn. As long as you stay in the realm of right and wrong, a lot of things will pass you by. But when you move in the direction of peace and progress, then you become strategic and say, what are the steps I need to take to deliver these numbers? Maybe within now your values or within the ambit of acceptable behavior. But what I've seen in my observation is when your behavior is not abnormal, people will not come in your direction, right? So you need to find your abnormality within the ambit of your values, right? You need to create a method to your own madness that can shock your audience and that can create an outrage and that can create a discussion which can create conversion. I hope I have helped you this morning. I'll see children at 8 a.m. this morning. And for adults who are doing business, we'll be back with Fisayo at 7 p.m. tonight. Thank you so much for joining me. I totally appreciate and celebrate you. God bless you. I hope you have learned something this morning. Go and apply this to your business and see your business turn around for good. Be audacious. You have the audacity to trend. Go sell that product now. Bye-bye.